We've got a problem. I've been fortunate, as I told you earlier, to be on the farm that my grandfather homesteaded back in 1960, and it was through good fiscal management by my grandfather and grandmother and by my dad and mother that allows us to have this kind of opportunity to be able to farm and for me to be up here today. We've got to have people back in Washington, D.C. that are willing to live within their means. Senator Burns has increased the debt limit many, many times over, except on election years, and he doesn't. It's time you have somebody back there that knows how to balance a checkbook. I've balanced it on my farm. I've balanced it in the state legislature. And we do it for 2 years at a time. And we did it this year without increasing taxes. That's my record.
Your farm didn't get hit by Katrina. Your farm didn't get hit by terrorists. Your farm got hit by a little disaster. I offered the checks and you cashed them up on that old farm. So that's a pretty bad comparison, John. That's a pretty bad comparison when you compare it to anything. And you can take exception to that, but you took the checks, right?
Well, can I respond to that?
Yeah, I think we did. And then on the taxes.
No, Senator Burns, you make the claim. I'll respond.
Let's talk
about food security. Let's not talk about having a farm program that doesn't benefit multinational food corporations first, but balances family farmers and ranchers first. Let's talk about country of origin labeling. You want to talk agriculture? Let's talk about a drought in north central Montana that's gone on for 6 to 8 years. And if you think those checks from the government has made me flush, you're wrong. I've had to reduce my expenses. I've had to pay as I go, which is exactly what the federal government used to do.
Thank you, Mr. Tester.
Now, on the taxes. We go right back. But the point is that it's a bad comparison. In other words, you didn't get hit by those kind of disasters. And anyway, but this economy can grow. And we will get there. We've done it before in this country, and we'll do it again. And if you don't have that faith in this system, in this country to do it, then are we going to do away with our whole system? I don't think so. We got a lot of faith in the people. I think the people can do it. That's where my faith is.
Mr. Tester, did you want to respond to that one more time?
You know what? I did it. That's fine.
Okay. Mr. Tester, you're next to answer this next question first. There has been much discussion about the corrupting influence of money in politics. How do you propose to change the culture of big money in politics?
Be honest. I will tell you right now, we've got the best government that money can buy. And it starts early. I mean, it's unarguable we'll be spending about $20 million between the two of us, probably more than that, to be elected to the United States Senate. That's way out of line. But I want to tell you that the fact is that you have to have people back there that have Montana values. You have to have people back there that are willing to tell people like convicted felon Jack Abramoff and his buddies, no. When they give you money, if they think that they're getting something for those dollars, it's absolutely inappropriate. That's not what our forefathers had in mind, and it's not the way this country was designed. We need our people back in Washington, D.C., those people especially that are representing Montana, to be honest. The fact is that it's well documented what's gone on with my opponent in relationship to lobbyists back in Washington, D.C. And the fact is that when it comes out and the gentleman says he gave his committee, Senator Burns' committee, gave Jack Abramoff everything he wanted, that's not who I elected to go back to Washington, D.C. and represent me. Senator Burns has changed. He's not the same guy he was in 1988. I don't believe he would have done it then. Washington has changed him.
Senator Burns?
Washington hadn't changed me. I still got the same wife, got the same kids, got the same principles, got the same values. As long as we're talking about that, John, why don't you fill out Vote Smart little thing? What is this little slush fund called a constituency fund? No accountability. You don't have to report where you got the money. You don't have to report where you got it. What about a foreign trip? Unreported. I believe in light bulbs and sunshine. You know everything about me because it's out there. It's on my website. It's all out there. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. But his is not. These little slush funds. Then let's go back and say, John, you were, I think, pulled on the carpet for illegal phone calling to raise funds. And I think you said at the time, oh, that's a terrible law. Well, he had to abide by it. I will tell you that. So when you look at everything and all of this, maybe I'm the only one here that's not the lawbreaker. I might be the only one. I might be the only one.
Well, can I respond?
Yes, rebuttal.
Good, that's
Mr.
good.
Tester?
I will tell you that in 1999, with Ralph Peck, who was the Director of Agriculture appointed by Judy Moritz, yeah, maybe it was either Judy or Mark Roscoe, one or the other. I was asked to go on a trade mission to Taiwan. There's nothing secretive about that. I, in fact, didn't want to go because it took me away from harvest too quick. Nothing secret about that. In 2001, and some of the legislators in the Senate here know this, and in the House, there's a trade mission that goes to Taiwan. Leadership goes. Steve Doherty happens to be here. He didn't go. I was whipped that year. I went. Part of the deal. But in the end, let's talk about Senator Burns' trips. Hawaii, New Orleans, Miami, Alaska, Palm Beach, Los Angeles, New York, China, Japan, Toronto, and there must have been something going on in Las Vegas because he went there 10 times. Trips paid for by the Tobacco Institute, American Petroleum Institute, U.S. Tobacco, National Association of Broadcasters, Fuji, Corning. Money, I'm out of time. I'm sorry.
No.
Senator Burns.
This is terrific. How do you know that? Because we are open. Everything that I do is available to you. And I would tell you that. So, and he never addressed this raising funds, but I'll just say, John, I haven't been investigated, and I'm not under indictment. And you broke a law. You broke a law and said, well, it's a worthless law, and I don't have to abide by it.
I got to answer this. I stopped the robocalls as fine as when I found out there was any question about it. That's like comparing a parking ticket to grand larceny. I want to tell you, Senator Burns, here's what you said when we asked about your vacations, if you want to talk about transparency. To the Great Falls Tribune, might be classified as none of your damn business. Well, we want to talk about transparency. Let's talk about transparency, Senator Burns.
It's all there.
Yeah, it sure is. It's kind of scary.
Thank you. Senator Burns, you'll be first to answer this next question. There are several century-old dams in the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness that serve irrigation needs here in the Bitterroot Valley. And Senator Burns, you have introduced legislation that would allow road building and other motor vehicle access that would otherwise be prohibited by the Wilderness Act of 1964 to service these aging dams. When is it appropriate to allow road building and motor vehicle access into the wilderness?
Well, somebody had to step up to the plate and do this. It's a very emotional issue, I realize that. Those dams and that water plays an integral part to this valley. It not only feeds the irrigation system here, but it also feeds the aquifer in this valley. I was talking to some people last night about this, and of course those roads and access was put there before the wilderness was designated. So there has to be some codification of access to those dams and to those bodies of water.